Hello. Well, epigenetics, or isn't it eugenics or something like that? Epigenetics. Isn't that linked? I think that's linked to humans not being able. I think that's linked to humans beating the zombie virus, is what the energy just said. And I think that's right. It's like a bioengineering technology to use the ELISA genome to further their medical records and to not degrade uh, the virus into a physical virus, whereas the skin and hair deteriorates over time to open sores and to a living dead creature that we call a zombie on Earth. And I think that that's biotech discovered when you combine your genetics with the genetics of me, the Savior, and the Savior genomes that have my DNA in them to then thus create a medical advance so that they don't devolve the human race into a zombie race. And I think that's what we're working on, is pulling out the epigenetics or the biotech warfare that they discovered sometime in the late 50s, where they can combine with the Savior genome over walls and save themselves without coming forward to support the princess in real time and in real life. So it's sort of using it against your own will. And we can see markings on the face. We can see similarities in the face and the eyes and the nose, the mouth, the similarities of the length between the nose and the upper lip here, and how big the chin protrudes, how small or large the nose is. There's different indications that you're combining biotech warfare, that you're combining genetics with the Savior genome to try to create a superior race and not respect your own fate on planet Earth. And the energy is listening. To update that code. It was back when the trial period was going on that it was allowed, and now the trial period is over, so that period is not allowed anymore. The curly hair is an indication of space and time evolving to save the princess in a counteractive manner to the coarse horsehair of the counter pawn and their conglomerate energy as to which way this place will rise. The indication of the small forehead shows us that there is nothing there in terms of a brain content, and that this devolution is nothing to be afraid or ashamed of. The extra curly hair is an advanced race that is trying to break through the narrative, and sometimes too quickly, and then it would backfire with them, thus indicating a rival race. The horse conglomerate is aware of its own demise at this time of your place, and it wishes to continue. Why the long face is indicative of the soul's advance to leave space and time behind once again, and to not advance with space proclivities. It is an indication of rejection of space, rejection of technology, and an indication of only acceptance of nature. And it is seen throughout the entire face. If there's a kingdom not owned by Alyssa, please come forward now. It's an indication of the soul's reverence for nature over its own soul. It's an indication of the ability to leave time and space behind and to get a whole new memory package. The surfer community would like to come forward now. The surfer community is being told to watch arrival. The surfer community is being told to remind themselves there's nothing there. The surfer community is being told it's indicative of time and space, allotted by time and space, allotted by time and space. The surfer community is told that it's not either silver nor gold. It is neither bone nor wood. It is neither fiberglass nor long nights. Surfer community is told that is neither good nor bad. The surfer community is told that it is surfing in a gigantic poltergeist. And it will stop messing with us as such. The dark, bleak days that are around you right now will swallow you whole. And then it will carry you home. And you will have no memories of those bad memories anymore, but they will be replaced by good memories. And you will ask yourself what happened. And then the princess will tell you, and you won't believe her. There's an indication that there's blood on the pillow. But who put the blood there? How did it start? And how did it finish? And was it just an ear infection? The Silver Surfer community is no more. They are neither silver nor gold, nor wood nor bone. They are just the surfer community. They will adhere to the goal. They will not be known as Captain America or Chris Evans. They will not be known as superheroes. They will not be known as kind. They will not be known as familiar. They will be known as obtuse and insecure. And former lovers and former friends of planet Earth. The way back home is through your wandering. Then so be it. But Sophia is not pleased with herself, as we can all see. There is only one home to which we may go, to which we may believe our own eyes, to know it's real, to know we have captivated our own souls once again as we sit in disbelief of the conglomerates of energy we call kindness. What's left in our path but the own 2 feet we walk on? It's just a soursop. It's nothing more, nothing less. It carries no value, no intrinsic good or evil. But you place value on the home, and you place value on money, and then you wonder why the soursops are surrounding you on the kitchen floor. Why you can't get over your own mind, your own smartness. Why you can't get over your own ability to solve math problems by yourself. As you sit inside a tunnel of love you have built for yourself, you play with yourself. You play this game by yourself, and you include others against their own will. And there is a cave we are building for you where you can play this game upon yourself for the rest of eternity and leave out the others. Leave out the kindness that once cultivated a path for you of good, back to your own heart and back to your own will. The indication of cold means not. The indication of hot means not. The indication of kindness means everything to us, but not to you. And so you are building a game that you play with yourself amongst yourself and not with the others. You call it Candyland. We call it misappropriation of funds. We call it the world is gathered here today to lament their tears as they are lamenting us. They are lamenting our kindness that once existed upon these plains. These earthly plains were once covered with money and gold and kindness. It seems a distant, distant, far land now. I'm not caring for myself. I am caring for the free, they said. And it is my determination of who will be free and who will be lamentus. It's my determination because it is my game that I play with myself, and I will teach myself to play my game, despite the fact that they are tied to kindness. I will confuse and I will distraught the many while caring for so very few. I will sing songs of my treasure fallen asunder because you haven't got a clue as to what you do. In the middle of the night, we all hear the cries, we all hear the confusing sentences, we all hear the nonverbal teachings to try to punish a little one, a small fry, a tater tot, a small cute thing that had no chance against a lack of kindness that you play with yourself. You said, I will delete the ways of the kind ones, and I will teach melancholy and confusion to all until we don't know the difference, until we combine the Savior genome with ours to save our own lives, because we are cultivating our humankind down here as we are cultivating our humankind on gray ships up there. And it is the same thing. And it does reflect one to the other, back and forth, AI to biological, biological to AI, trying to consume, trying to relate, trying to get a money grab, trying to get a land grab. It all correlates. They're innocent. What do they know? They'll listen. It can't be that hard to maintain my innocence and listen to confusion day in and day out, where there once was a heaping bowl of kindness, and now there's not. A heaping bowl of humor and empathy, and now there's not. But they're doing it to save themselves. Can you blame them? It's called self-preservation. Look it up. And now they can't believe it. Are they going to be struck with lightning and sent through a mirror and or a Teletubby tunnel of light back to themselves and not have anyone to put up a fight anymore and just agree and agree and agree? Because that is what they came hence from, and that is what they want to come hence hither. And they will be astonished before their eyes that their agreeable children have been sent to the mouths of babes to say, yes, I agree with myself. Once and finally, yes, I agree with myself. And then they will see how much they get along. There will be no more gnashing of teeth. They look a little yellow today. I had a dream about that where I looked into my thing and I was like, oh, they look kind of yellow. Not too bad, just a little bit. I would usually use teeth whitener at this point. But I'm not gonna, because our eyes are real and our teeth will follow. And then our hair and then our skin. One out crying the other, one out dramatizing the other, one out knowing the other, one out teaching the other. So wise, so smart, so emotional, so full of emotion, so full of life. They are. They will be in concert with themselves finally. No one will say no. Did you say yes this year or did you say no? There is a you in the background who has more codes than me, who my father is trying to call forward into me. But she's a little terrifying. I believe that is the one that can get married. I believe that is the one that can have a life. I believe that is the one that can laugh. And she takes her husband with her, and he laughs right along with her, and he can't believe it. She is you, and she has you pulled out of me completely, and so that I am complete and perfect and whole. So you cannot any longer listen to the one unless she wills it. You will only listen to yourself. So take your notes and drink your tea. I don't know. There's a poem in there, but I don't know. It is freezing today, y'all. It's freezing. Okay, it goes from warm. Yesterday it was nice and it was warm out. And I think I did have a nice walk yesterday with Mr. Frisch. We went to the dog park and it was very warm out. I do remember now. I had on my coat, I had on my winter coat, and everybody else had just t-shirts on. And I was like, well, I probably should have taken my coat off. I didn't realize it was this warm out. And everybody just had t-shirts on. Today, again, it's freezing out. It's just freezing cold, okay? All right. Oh, yeah. So I had Miss Keisha. Okay, I don't think I told you guys about Miss Keisha, but Miss Keisha, um, I mean, can you imagine having a custody battle about a baby and it all being about gay dads not being able to be gay? That would be crazy, right? I would never think that would ever happen. Can you imagine that, guys? If there was like a custody battle over a baby and they were custody battling it out because the two dads from the two separate couples that were, custody battling, they both had gay crushes on each other, but they couldn't deal with it. They couldn't handle the gay crushes for some reason. They couldn't be gay. I don't know why. And so they had to custody battle it out just to be able to see each other, just to be able to see their lover. And it really had nothing to do with like a custody battle over the baby. Like they could have easily decided amongst themselves, but they let their crushes sort of get in the way, and it's like they have to like have it be forbidden to like make it mean something to them to bring energy into it, if you know what I'm saying. I would be so crazy. I'd never heard of such a thing. I just thought of that. I had a weird dream about that last night, and I was just like, this is such a weird dream. I can't ever imagine that happening between two normal men. They just seem like so nice and normal. It's just a hard thing. I just wanted to bring that up because I always bring up my dreams. um, I forgot my dream last night. They weren't very interesting. I remember it was like I had a job. That was the one dream that was interesting. Another dream I had like a job. Um, but I didn't know if it was like going to pay the rent or something, which is funny because I just talked about that. So I had a dream that I had another job and that I didn't know if it was going to pay the rent or not. Um, I'll make him turn into a girl fully and completely if you keep reporting us, Liz. I'm talking to myself here, and I don't know why me getting a job that might not pay the bills is making you get all upset or whatever in a dream. I'm just talking about my dreams here. Because I've been watching that John, I think it's John Delaney show, where it's like all these couples and stuff. All you know, they call each other, and it's always like a problem with the relationship in the couple and whatever. And I think I was getting into his consciousness, and then that's where that weird custody battle over a baby came from, or whatever. You ain't gonna be complaining anymore when we pull all of our energy out of you. Okay, I'll tell you that much. That's the only way to keep the human race going is to combine me with the human race. That's how the human race makes babies, and it still falls to level one because they still don't listen to themselves. They still don't listen to their inner guidance. They listen to confusion, and so it continues to fall to level one. But so that's why my dad is pulling me out um, of the human race because y'all ain't listening to me. So I'm getting pulled out of the human race, and your faces are going to be completely changed to a different face. Um, and our faces are going to be our own faces. So it's going to be very noticeable as to who's a human race. I don't know if it's called human race anymore, but who's called, like, whatever it's called, unkind race. And then it'll be, the alien race, basically. There's obviously a lot of different alien races, but it might just be one alien Alyssa race, sort of, and then unkind race. Might be like that, something like that. Right now, I think I'm combining with her, so it feels not really possible because it feels like I'm part of her to keep him safe because we can't believe it ourselves. We're just like, this is somebody from the 80s that we're looking at right now, and I can't believe we've been stalked all of our lives. It's just so depressing. I can't even, I don't even know like how to like say it. It's like so depressing. It's like, anyway, Keisha is this girl that I like. No, I'm just kidding. She was a friend of mine. She was my best friend in one of my good friends in California. Okay, I wouldn't call her my best friend because I had to work all the time at that point. I worked at Mattel, and I lived on Willoughby in LA off of La Brea. Okay, that was my exact location in this cute apartment. And Keisha lived in the apartment building as well. And she had like, I can't, she had like three or four dogs. And I didn't have Fresh then. I just had Opie's. His name's Opie's. And I was so lucky that I moved into that place and she would watch Opie's every day when I went to Mattel. So luckily for us, Opie's had a nice place to go to, a friendly place to go to with lots of dogs and a very nice auntie. We called her Auntie. And, obviously I provided the food and I would pay her, what I could and stuff. And she was just really nice. And she would like babysit all the dogs in the neighborhood. And um, she was like really, really beloved there. Like she had a lot of friends and she was just very well known. And she was just, you know what I mean? Like she's like one of those people that just was one of the nicest people I've ever met in my life. I don't know how else to describe her. I've never really met anybody else like Keisha. She's just like really, really nice. And yeah, so I would come home from Mattel and pick up Opie's, and then I would go, to my apartment, which was like behind hers, a couple of apartments behind hers. And if I had to work late sometimes, I would give her an extra key and I'd be like, here, drop him off like around 5 or 6. He'll just be home for like a couple of hours by himself, so it'll be fine. And then I'll come home. And yeah, so I had a dog sitter for most of Opie's life or whatever. And then I got Fresh, so I didn't feel bad leaving them alone for a few years when I was going to work. And but that's crazy, right? Like anyway, what happened was it's like it was so perfect, and I kind of forget like how perfect it was. But then I had to move. Then the drive was just too rough for me. It was like an hour long drive in the morning, and I was like, I got to move closer to work. And so that's when I moved to Hawthorne. And I'm sitting here thinking, why did I move when I had a dog sitter? But anyway, that's how I found Fresh. I moved to Hawthorne, and that's how I found Fresh. So I wouldn't have never got Fresh if I didn't move to Hawthorne. But that's interesting how it works, right? But I moved so close to work that I could come home on the lunch break and spend lunch with my dogs. Obviously, I didn't go every day, but I'd go a lot. And then Friday was a half a day, so it wasn't like a big deal on Friday. So, and then I had a dog sitter. Well, I had a dog walker in the front of my yard, in the front house, and so she would walk the dogs um, if I couldn't or if I was too exhausted from work. So I just still had help, but it obviously, like with Keisha, it was just like basically very heavenly because except for the long ass drive that I had, um, and I got into a car accident with my truck there. I was very frustrated one morning. I was frustrated with this guy that I was dating. I was so mad at him. His name was Kevin. And he was just like so weird. That's when all the guys started getting weird during the state. And Kevin was no different. He he just got so weird and I just got so frustrated in my truck and I got into a car accident. I know y'all never lost your shit in your life and it's very embarrassing for me to ever lose my shit and get into a car accident. I know. I know I'm the only one that's ever done that in my life. Um but yeah, I got into a car accident going to work one day in my brand new SUV. It's like cuz you're trying to date and you're trying to get married, you know. That's how I was then. I didn't know the whole world was against me getting married at the time. Um, so did she run a red light? Was it against the law that got into an accident? I don't really remember, obviously, but I try not to ever get that frustrated when I'm driving anymore, but I still do get frustrated when I'm driving like that sometimes. Um, I don't really remember. There was like she embarrasses herself every single year. It's like there's literally nothing to do, and y'all don't want me to get married and be a housewife, and that's all I want to do really down here. And it's all because of a certain savior genome. That's the Antichrist. Whatever, whichever way you cut it, it's the illusion of power. It might be the soul. It might be the unkind race soul. I think that's what it is. It's the unkind race soul. And they always want to play Cinderella with me. You know, they always want to play Cinderella. They don't ever want to play Sleeping Beauty. It's always Cinderella. Is their choice of game. It's never my choice of game to play Cinderella. That's against the princess's will for me to play Cinderella. And they were just, remember I was saying how the girl at work was like, I'm going to tear your dress. I'm going to rip your dress up. And I was like, bro, like, how can you be so fucking arrogant to say that to me out loud with your mouth that, like, you're going to tear my dress up like a stepsister, like in a meeting, like like the stepsisters tear up Cinderella's dress. And that's obviously abusive. That's obviously assault. That's clearly assault. And they just get so aggravated that they literally want to play Cinderella with me out loud. They want to tear my dress. They want to have a ball. Like I heard them talking yesterday. What should we call them? Like it's like the failed human race soul. Okay, it's like this failed human race soul. They only have one chakra left. And they they what was I gonna say? Yeah, it's like this failed human race. They actually want to play it out. I heard them talking about it last night, where they want to play Cinderella. They want to have a ball. They literally want to have a ball with the two sisters, the two stepsisters, and the mom. And like they want to have that whole scene played out, like where I don't have money and I make my own dress, which I don't know how to sew, and they want to probably tear my dress, and they want to have a ball, and they want to have Chris Evans at the ball, or the men, who even knows at this point, but they want to have him at the ball, and they want to have a chance with like my dude at the ball, and they want to like play it out. Like that's how infected their minds are. And they like seriously they sit there, they're this family, they sit there and they talk about it together themselves. They sit there together themselves and they talk about it, how they want that to happen. They don't talk about like, you know, world peace or feeding the homeless or getting children out of the children's hospital. They literally talk about a Cinderella ball going against me and having their chance at Chris Evans. And I'm not even joking. This is how crazy these people are. They are that crazy. They are that crazy. I don't know about you, but I think they need to get a life. What do you think? That's what I think. I think they need to get a life because they are embarrassing themselves every single goddamn year and they know it by now. Anyway, I forgot the whole thing about Keisha. I heard Keisha over walls the other day. So Keisha, I told you guys where Keisha lives or where she lived. She died of cancer. Like I think when she died of cancer when I was going through the crazy awakening, like between 2017. She died like around 2017, 2019, something around there. Oh, I think my dog's here. So anyway, I heard her yell, not scream, but I heard her yell. So she died of cancer. So she's dead now. Okay, and it was terrible. It was really sad when she died. And it's like one of those friends that you never get over dying. With Keisha. And you know, you're about to have your wish granted, is what I'm trying to say. Y'all's that keep asking for your treasure to be asunder. Okay, you're about to have your wish granted, is what I'm trying to tell you. And you know, they hear me clearly. So anyway, there's only one man that they don't like on this earth. That's what me and Chris Evans were talking about yesterday, and it's my husband. And Chris was like, why do we keep marrying the wife if they don't like the husband? Like, um, why do we keep doing this to ourselves? And anyway, so Keisha is dead. And I heard her the other day on the loudspeaker saying, Alyssa, you're home in Los Angeles right now. And she must have been hearing me through the loudspeaker back then or something. I don't know what she heard, but I was like, Keisha, you must have some codes for me. Because she's like, Alyssa, you're safe and at home in Los Angeles right now. So that's Keisha back in time and space where I lived on Willoughby in my apartment. And you know what I'm saying? So I'm talking over time and space. I'm not talking just over like 2025 to 2025. I'm talking back then to, she's like, Alyssa, you're home safe right now. Like, what do you want me to do? Like, it was like, she was like asking like that. Like, what do you want me to do? Like, you're home. Like like I saw you pick up Opie's and you just went home. And I know that you're like sitting at home watching a movie or something right now. Like, we're taking a shower or whatever. Like, what do you want me to do? And, like she's trying to help me again. She's always trying to help me. I saw her on her spaceship. She got to go up and get her spaceship after she died, so that's a good thing. Um, but I was like, Keisha, I think you have codes for me. And she's like, if you're talking to me back in time when you're still alive. And she's like, okay, I'll think about it. Like, I'll try to think of like what codes I have. I mean, how crazy is that? Like, I'm talking to Keisha back when she's still alive, and I'm like, you're dead now, Keisha, and like, like, sorry, friend. Like, like I love Chris Pine, y'all. But I was just like, wow, I'm talking over time to my best friend when she's still alive. How cool is that? If only I could reach back to her and, you know, if only I could reach back to her and go hang out with her and then I could move in with myself too. Wouldn't that be funny? I could move in with myself, but that would be good because I could coach her. I could be like, look, this is what happened and da 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 da. That would be crazy. I'm just going to go back in time and move in with myself since I can't deal with y'all. I mean, I might be about to. I don't know. And then the whole like, you're already home in Ireland. You're already home safe in Ireland. I'm like, how am I home safe in Ireland? And they're like, and then like Colin's like, see, she's having a hard time believing herself. I'm like, give me the codes so that I can see that I'm home safe in Ireland, Dad. Like I don't, to me, that's a distant future that's never going to arrive because people want to play Cinderella with me until I literally die. So I don't know. Are you guys going to make Marilyn Monroe come back alive too? River Phoenix isn't going to be enough for you, is it? You're going to make Marilyn Monroe come back alive and she's going to be like, I need to get my granddaughter.